time to talk Peacemaker, y'all. All right, so Jeez Louise, Chris. All right, let me bring it up here. Peacemaker Season 2 has now premiered. The first episode is out. It went up last night, and I think this will probably be a regular thing here on the Friday live streams where Peacemaker comes out on Thursday, and then come Friday, it'll be the final topic of every Friday live stream where we'll talk spoilers and discuss what just happened in the episode and our theories for the DCU. So this is unfortunately your one warning right now. Spoilers for episode 1 of Peacemaker and I guess Superman and things that have been going on with the DCU and whatnot. I do recommend you check it out. First episode, really good. Really good. Okay. Where do I want to begin with how they brought Peacemaker into the DCU. So that was like a big retcon that they did. So Peacemaker Season 2 opens up with a recap that'll actually be part of every DCU show. James Gunn has said in an interview that every Peacemaker or that every DCU show will start with a previously in the DCU, and it'll just catch you up on what's been going on. And basically what ends up getting revealed is that everything that happened in Peacemaker Season 1, or most everything, all the major plot points, still happen and is a parallel universe of the Peacemaker in DCU. So technically, the Peacemaker in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad and Season 1 are from the DCEU, but in the DCU, there is also a parallel Peacemaker that had the exact same history, but the biggest change is that when he called for reinforcements, it was not the Justice League, it was the Justice Gang. And here we have them, Mr. Terrific, Superman, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Supergirl. Okay, couple of notes on this. James Gunn did already confirm, although Superman and Supergirl are here, they are not official members of the Justice Gang. They just like to help out and team up with the Justice Gang from time to time, but they are their own heroes. All right. That was an interesting reveal, and really, I think that is probably the simplest, easiest way to put us into the DCU, because it's been nothing. I say there's been confusion, but you got to admit, it's a little weird to have a new universe built off the dying breadcrumbs of your previous universe. That's just weird. Like, come on, hot take. That is weird. That's like if Batman Begins started using the ending of Batman and Robin. Why would you do that? Just wipe the slate clean, start straight. I can't even talk. I'm so frustrated with that, right? But, you know, James Gunn is doing that, and he's following through with that, whatever. I feel this was actually a very simple, easy way, and now my mind is set. And this does then lead me to, like, some other things. Because I thought, okay, so what we find out in this episode is Peacemaker goes through the little pocket universe that it has a different name. I remember the pocket universe, but there's the pocket universe with the tons of doors, right, that lead into different dimensions. And Peacemaker, now living in his father's home, goes into the pocket universe and he discovers there is a door that leads to a parallel universe where Peacemaker, his brother, and his father, all alive, all have a good relationship with each other. They're in this universe. They're heroes. They save people. And Peacemaker is actually loved in this universe. I honestly thought this Peacemaker was going to be DCU Peacemaker, and that was going to explain the jump. That maybe that would happen. John Cena would take over the life of this one, and we'd kind of just leave behind the DCEU and this. But no, we have DCU Peacemaker who's jumping into yet another parallel Peacemaker universe. So many parallels going on. Okay, from the first episode, I want to say I really liked it. If I'm being honest with you guys, I like Season 1 of Peacemaker, but I was never like blown away or found myself so loving Peacemaker Season 1 that I was like, this is the best comic book show. I was like, that was just really enjoyable. I liked that, but I was like, okay, something about the way this second episode was going and the way there's breadcrumbs filling in the DCU, all the character dynamics and the arcs that they're setting up, I am very invested in Peacemaker, the character, and what's going on in this universe. Now, they are definitely leaning towards a more depressing, or I guess more emotional storyline, because I'll tell you, in that episode where he does go to the new universe and he sees his brother Keith from the first time, who's played by, what was it? I don't even, the boyfriend of Pam's in the office and whatnot in there. And then Peacemaker's like, I love you. He goes, and then he starts crying. Is also that was honestly hitting me. I was like, dang, they're setting up something really nice, and I like where this is going. Because also talking about Peacemaker tries to interview and join the Justice Gang, which was actually a pretty funny scene. You have Maxwell Lord, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. You have Hawkgirl there, and the mic is not working right because Guy Gardner didn't set up the equipment right. He just let like some janitor do it. I thought that was a fun scene. It worked for me. I will say it is so interesting seeing the characters be rated R here. When I just saw all these people in Superman, even the Peacemaker cameo, you see Peacemaker in Superman. That's unfortunately going to lead some families to think, "Hey, they just put out the new Peacemaker show. He had a cameo in Superman." Timmy, Mom, come on, let's gather around and watch the new season of Peacemaker. There's an orgy, and there's penises everywhere. Oh, Timmy, close your eyes. Honey, TiVo this for later. That did catch me off guard. I totally knew Peacemaker was a rated R character, but when you just had a scene of just naked bodies everywhere, I was like, huh? Huh? But I guess kind of smart of James Gunn, because if the show is going to get even more rated R, more brutal, more crazy things are going to happen down the line, you want to set that standard from episode 1 that's like, hey, you're not supposed to be watching this with little Timmy. You're watching this on your own, parents, right? So that like caught me so off guard whenever that came through. But all right, that was happening. If I want to talk about some other things that are filling out the DCU that are making me interested. So we did have some Easter eggs and stuff. I think there's like actually let's see. I'll pull them up. That way we can go through them one by one. Peacemaker Easter eggs. I think there was a great account that posts all of them. Yeah, DCU Brief, follow them and whatnot. And by the way, you'd be surprised how many other channels out there just steal the Easter eggs from Reddit forums and online. Your boy's here just giving you the straight source. I'm not pretending like, oh, and I knew this. This guy was from this comic book of... No, I give credit where credit's due. All right. It's crazy how this character is becoming like the news person for everywhere. So we see him again talking about metahuman outbreak. He actually mentions Arkham Asylum, which was awesome. We get an Arkham Asylum reference in there. I'm like, oh, they're building. Anytime we get a Batman reference, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh, Batman reference. Batman reference. It's pretty cool. So we have that going on right there. We see the top trio. They've been good. They've been working along. All right. One of the things we've talked about that. All right. So this is a big one people are talking about. There's a character that shows up that I've never heard of called White Rabbit, which is apparently a villain in Batman comics. And it's just played up for jokes. It's made up for laughs, but it's so funny. Because I think James Gunn is being very loosey-goose with his universe, and if he can make a joke out of it, or if he can have fun with it, and it's not going to impact the overall story of his world, he's going to do it. Problem with that is you have fans like us who dissect and go crazy hard on anything you showed us. So if you show us this is what a Batman villain looks like in this universe, well, it caused debates. Because, there is still half the internet believing Robert Pattinson Batman might merge in with the DCU. And this aesthetic just does not fit in the Riddler, the Penguin, all those villains they set up. Imagining her in Gotham next to a Robert Pattinson Batman doesn't work. Okay, maybe you could be right. You don't know. I definitely think it could be a situation where James Gunn has said it before. Every director is going to put their own spin and style in a DC movie. I think James is going to be very good about that with his DC universe, that Wonder Woman is going to feel tonally different from Superman. Superman is going to feel tonally different from Batman Brave and the Bold. But when they merge together and come together in a movie, it'll work. So I don't think it's that crazy to think the Batman universe is so oddly different than what the Superman universe is. That's what James Gunn is going for. He wants those movies to feel very different and distinct voices. So I don't know. That's just a thought. Again, I'm fine with getting two Batman. I'm just saying if it happens, I don't think this is definitive proof of that, but that is something. Maxwell Lord finally gets some more screen time. It was fine. James Gunn has even talked about more that he's not really a villain character. He's gonna remain as this morally gray character. He says that in later comics, yes, Maxwell Lord is more of a straight up villain who like shoots Ted Cord Blue Beetle. James Gunn's like, that's not my version. This guy, he's just a businessman. He does things that are right. He does things that are wrong. At the end, he's just trying to bring superheroes to the world, even if it's not in the best way, right? I was like, okay, I like that. This I really liked. They bring in Aftermath from Superman. They have a connected unified world. So we learned that Rick Flag, played by not Rick Flag, Rick Flag Senior, Frank Grillo, who's in charge of like keeping track of these metahumans, uh, is actually keeping a close tab on John Cena of Peacemaker. One, because he killed his son, and he's actually just waiting for Peacemaker to mess up, do something criminal, do something. So just a reason for him to go after him and take him down. I kind of like that he's just biding his time, waiting for when he can take down Peacemaker. And well, one of the things was every time Peacemaker does open that door to that rift dimension or that dimension of doors in other universes, it sets off an alarm now because now they've put in place alerts for something like that because of what happened in Superman. There was a pocket dimension, it almost split half the world. So now we need things in place to make sure something like that doesn't happen. I like that. So they're constantly monitoring anomalies going on. I think that works, and it's why Rick Flag is on the radar of Peacemaker. I thought that worked for me. Let me see here. What else we got? Pocket dimension, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Well, let's get on to the big ending of this episode, which I just want to say, your boy called it. Your boy called it. I can't even pull up the tweet. It's so long ago. But I jokingly said, what if Peacemaker ends with Peacemaker killing Peacemaker, says, Peacemaker, what a joke, and then wears Peacemaker's suit in his honor? I thought that's how the season would end. That is how episode 1 ends. That was an awesome battle. I like that whole fight scene between this universe's Peacemaker to our Peacemaker, duking it out. The helmets, I love the helmet stuff. I always thought Peacemaker's helmet looked so stupid. I love the idea of all the Peacemaker helmets having different gadgets and fun things to do. And I could not believe that's how the first episode ended, dude. And it even felt like Peacemaker was going to say it, did he not? Because there was a moment, Peacemaker's lying on the ground, and he, like, turns to other Peacemaker, and he's like, I was like, oh my God, he's going to say it. He's going to say, Peacemaker, what a joke. And then he just, I was like, nah, you were this close, Gunn. You were this close to a masterpiece. I thought that was crazy, and now it leaves me so interested to what's going to go down because yeah, they set it up well. Peacemaker saved the world. He stopped a global threat. He beat the Justice Gang at it, and he's not appreciated. They won't let him join any of the teams. He's not getting any special recognition. He's miserable. Same with Harcourt, or I forget the guy with glasses' his name. Economics, something like that. All them. And even Tasty was I say Tasty. That's her. That's her. Orange is the New Black character. I need to learn these names. But they're all like kind of down in the dumps and need a redemption. And now he has the opportunity to just fill in the life of this character, be with his brother, be with his father, actually be a hero that's respected and liked. I cannot wait to see for how all that's going to go down. It leaves me so curious to what the end of this season is going to be like. Does he end up staying in that world? Because if he does, that's not the DCU. That's a whole other universe. Is that going to be James Gunn's rated R world where he'll do rated R content over there that way to keep this stuff separate? You know, is that going to happen, or is it going to be the obvious thing of like maybe the grass wasn't greener on the other side? Maybe the real Peacemaker was the friends we made along the way. You know, is it going to be something like that? Which probably is what it's going to be. Or is he just going to mess up that world so bad he's like, I can't even stay here. I got to go. I so wonder, right? So I liked it. I thought Peacemaker episode 1 was awesome. I really even like the hardcore fight in the bar. I actually hate when characters do stuff like that. They have their self-sabotage mode. Tons of stuff, tons of shows do that. I know in Better Call Saul, the girl lawyer did that for like an episode where she just like ran her car off a cliff because she was in it. I don't know. I just like it's an annoying trope for me where characters are so depressed they just start digging a hole deeper in their lives because they're so sad. But that was such a cool fight scene in the bar. And I even like the way they played it out that she couldn't even just like take down all of them. She like could take them down to a point. She got overpowered, thrown out, and all that. I was like, I like it. I think it's off to a good start. I think they have the real potential for a real heartbreaking, emotional storyline with what's going on. I'm invested. I think this is already feeling better than season 1 to me. Especially with all the DCU connections. It's just actually making me like, okay. Oh, they said Bloodhaven. Bloodhaven, Nightwing. That's where Nightwing hangs out, man. I was like, Bloodhaven. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm cool with this. Let me see if there's any other things. Thoughts on the intro. I will say, not a big fan of the new intro. What did I thought it was like, obviously the first one was more catchier, worked better, but I saw someone bring up a good point that this season is going to be a little bit more depressing, emotional, so they went with a song that maybe fits that vibe a little more. So I guess that kind of makes sense. The dance moves are still fine, but it's not as iconic as the first intro, but I guess that's fine. It doesn't have to be, right? It's Peacemaker's overrated. I don't blame you. I could totally understand that, and I am worried. I definitely there is a worry in my mind. James Gunn is getting too inflated with the own characters he's involved with. I don't need Peacemaker to ironically become a Black Adam for this new DCU. What I mean by that is because Dwayne Johnson played Black Adam, they were setting him up to be such a huge, gigantic villain in that world where he wasn't even going to fight his own rival Shazam. He was just going to go straight to Superman, and we were leading into a Black Adam Superman movie. I don't want Peacemaker to end up getting that same kind of over bloated treatment. Just because James Gunn likes John Cena, likes what he's done with Peacemaker, I don't think means you need to make him as important as a Batman, as a Superman, as these characters in this universe. He's fun for what he is right now. But yeah, definitely don't overbloat us with Peacemaker where we're just like, oh my God, oh brother, this guy stink, you know? Maybe that's an L take, but I'm just kind of being honest. Just go. He says, he won't, dude, relax. I mean, you say that, but think about where we are in the universe right now. We literally had a Peacemaker cameo in a Superman movie. And Peacemaker is the show that's setting up the bigger conflict for the DCU. James Gunn has said that. James Gunn has confirmed that. It already feels like there's a lot of importance or a lot of things being put on the shoulder of Peacemaker. So I don't know if you can say he won't relax, dude, when it's kind of already happening. I'm enjoying it for now, just like I enjoy icing on a cake. But after 5 bites of icing, you're like, that's just too much. It's too much. I'm just saying, Eric. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, Peacemaker has made an appearance in every DCU project so far. Oh, was he? Oh, he was in Creature Commandos. So has Rick Flag though, Senior. Rick Flag Senior. But that's just me wearing some a little bit. I'm not going too overboard with it. So yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.